Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Menken here with Splash Sports. Today is April 29, 2024. A little recap on yesterday's performance. Don't even want to talk about it. It was just one of those days. Still on my full game MLB. Only went 1-2 there. Had a losing day yesterday. Won't dwell on it. We'll get right back into it this week. We still finished the week overall 20-8, and then in our MLB run, we finished that 17-5, still a 77% there. So make sure to go follow me over on X at Nick Menken to get all those plays. Let's dive deep into our next week's games here. Remember, on this show, all we care about is the first 6 outs of the ball game, plain and simple. A NRFI means no runs first inning, while a YRFI means yes runs first inning. But you know what to do. Before I get in those free plays, smash that like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure to turn on that notification button. That way, every time I drop another video, you guys will be notified. All right, let's start off this week on a winning note. Starting off with game number 1, we got the Chicago Cubs taking on the New York Mets here. Talon will be on the bump for the Chicago Cubs. He's currently 2-0 this season with 10.2 innings of work, an ERA of 1.59 here. He does have 8 strikeouts in 2 earned runs. He'll be matched up here against the New York Mets' Severino. He's 2-2 this year, 27 innings of work here so far. 2.57 ERA with 20 strikeouts here and 8 earned runs. You look at Severino's last start here. He got the loss against the San Francisco Giants, going 6 innings of work, 5 hits, and 3 earned runs. I'm expecting this start to look a lot different than Severino's start in San Fran here. He's back at home. I think he gets off to a hot start here, and he commands the strike zone from pitch number 1. You look at the Chicago Cubs. They've been struggling here on the offensive side of things. Clearly, Cody Bellinger is out with a broken rib, so they're trying to fill a spot, a big bat in that lineup here, and you saw against the Boston Red Sox this weekend on Saturday, they got shut out 17-0. Clearly, the bats aren't there right now for the Chicago Cubs. They do play on Sunday Night Baseball. It's going to be a quick turnaround for them. Then they got to head to New York to face these Mets here. I think it's going to be more so a rubber match. You got Talon, who's looked really good so far, and then Severino, who's coming off a bad start. I think he bounces back here, and there's no runs in this first inning. That's why in game number 1, between the Chicago Cubs and the New York Mets, we're smacking the NRFI, no runs first inning. Let's take a look at game number 2, where the St. Louis Cardinals take on the Detroit Tigers. Right now for the St. Louis Cardinals, Steven Matz will be on the mound. He is 1-2 here with 24.1 innings of work, an ERA of 5.55 here, 16 strikeouts in 15 earned runs. Steven's clearly struggling for these Cardinals here. He's given up a lot of base runners, especially to start off his outings. Something to take note on, as he'll be matched up against the Detroit Tigers. Kenta Maeda, who's 0-1, finally had a good start in his last outing, but has 22.2 innings recorded here. 5.96 is his ERA. 17 strikeouts in 15 earned runs. Like I said, Kenta Maeda, he looked good in his last start against the Rays, but we all know the Rays are struggling here offensively to score runs and to get hits. He went 5 innings of work, 3 hits, no earned runs. But if I had to flip a coin with Kenta Maeda, I'm taking the chances that he will be giving up a run in the top of the first here against the St. Louis Cardinals. You look at what Steven Matz has done. He gave up 7 runs in his last start against the Diamondbacks there. This Tigers team, they get off to fast starts. You look at what they did after going down 1-0 in Sunday's game against the Kansas City Royals. They came right back in the bottom of the first and scored 2 right up on them. So this Tigers team gets out to hot starts here. Either way of the line here, I like both offenses to scrap a run in the first inning. That's why in game number 2, between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Detroit Tigers, we're smacking the YRFI yes runs first inning. Let's roll into our third and final game, where the Minnesota Twins take on the Chicago White Sox. Right now for the Minnesota Twins, Joe Ryan will be on the mound. He's 1-1 this year with 28.2 innings of work. He has an ERA of 3.45 here, 38 strikeouts. He's clearly averaging over a strikeout here per inning, and he's gave up 11 earned runs so far this season. He'll be matched up against a White Sox team who are coming off a weekend series sweep to the Tampa Bay Rays. Very weird to say with the Chicago White Sox team. They'll be throwing out Garrett Crochet. He's 1-4 this season, 29.2 innings of work, an ERA of 6.37 here. 40 strikeouts, though, as he is averaging well over a strikeout here per inning, 21 earned runs. And like I said, both teams coming off a sweep. You got this Minnesota Twins team coming off a huge sweep in Los Angeles against those Angels. And the Twins ended up scoring in that series a combined total of 32 runs in that weekend series against the Angels. They had 17 hits yesterday as well. I think this rolls right over to this series here against the White Sox, who the White Sox are playing at home, which is a very hitter-friendly ballpark, and I know that there will be multiple home runs in this series here. And the White Sox coming off a sweep. They had 3 wins leading up to this series. They got 3 wins this weekend. They doubled their wins. If that's not momentum here for the offense, I don't know what is. I'm expecting this White Sox to build a little something off that series sweep there and to get a couple runs maybe in the bottom of the first against Joe Ryan. But either way, both sides as well. I think this offense, especially for this Minnesota Twins team, as they are not striking out as they were to start this season. They're starting to put a lot more balls in play, solid contact, and I think the Minnesota Twins get on the board here in the top of the first. That's why in game number 3 between the Minnesota Twins and the Chicago White Sox, we're smacking the YRFI yes runs first inning. Let's take a recap of the games I've selected for you today. Game number 1 between the Chicago Cubs and the New York Mets, we're smacking the NRFI. Game number 2 between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Detroit Tigers, we're smacking the YRFI yes runs first inning. And in game number 3 between the Minnesota Twins and the Chicago White Sox, we are smacking the YRFI yes runs first inning. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Nick Menken with Splash Sports. If you have not done so, smack that like button for me. It helps me out a ton and it costs you guys none. And subscribe to my YouTube channel and go follow me on X. I'm giving out all my plays for absolutely $0 at Nick Menken on X. Best of luck and best bets.